All right, looks like we're live. Hey guys, Mike Healy here again, and I have some special guests with me today. I've got Ashley Shenafield and
Sean Brett. Hey guys.
Sean Brett. I'm sorry, Sean Brett. I know that because I've talked to him multiple times, but for some reason I was going to say Brett Michaels, the lead singer for Poison, but that's not him either. But anyhow, he's good looking, right? But I'm excited to have these guys on here because, as you know, I've done a bunch of these videos now, or a handful, and it's really cool to be able to share the experiences people are having, regardless of their backgrounds or regardless of their previous experience. And I thought this couple right here, this power couple, was the perfect example of somebody who, if I remember correctly, you guys have never done any kind of networking before, correct?
Correct.
You're in your mid 20s, 30s. How old are you guys?
I'm 31.
I'm 34.
Okay, so you're low 30s. So you're kind of, but you guys have already you've been in, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are realtors, correct? And you have some other stuff that you do on the side. You work at a couple restaurants or something like that too?
Yeah, we work at a BJ's restaurant in Folsom, California.
Perfect. It's one of my favorite restaurants. I have one literally 3 miles up the street, and I ate there 2 nights ago. Fantastic, amazing food. But why don't I, because I don't want to just be on here being my own babbling head, I invited you guys to speak. Why don't you give us a little background besides what I just said, and kind of let people know maybe how you were introduced to this, okay? Because I think that's important, because people typically are asking themselves, can I do it, and is it worth doing? And I think it's important for people to hear how people are introducing people. And then I know you've gotten a couple people in, and then I know you've got a whole bunch of customers already with our business. So go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little about your background and so on.
Okay. Well, I'm Ashley Shenafield. I am 31, and
I'm Sean Brett. I'm 34.
And we're from Folsom, California. And we work at BJ's restaurant in Folsom, like Mike just said. And about a year ago, well, we have 4 children. They're 7, 8, 9, and 10. So living in California is expensive. Having 4 children is expensive. So we're always looking at ways to make other revenue, which is why we got into real estate as well. So we got, real estate and then BJ's. And then we have 4 kids, so obviously we didn't want any more. We decided, after talking, to be surrogates for a family in China. And we delivered twins back in October. And after we delivered twins, we thought we needed a vacation. So we bought into a discount travel site for about $4,000. And then 2 months later, a close family friend of ours wanted a play date with our daughter. And while we're sitting out by the pool, he introduced us an iDecide for iBoomerang. And immediately I was like, oh my God, are you serious? For $1,000, I could have gotten into a business, received discount travel, and given this out to people for free. Like, it sold me right away. And then I kind of watched all of Mike Healy's record-breaking growth. And then I ended up signing up like 3 weeks later, first class. And my very first day signing up, I can't take all the credit. I had 20 activated customers my very first day on a Facebook post.
Wow.
And the very first few that I activated, I kept saying, boom, millionaire in the making. And then I activated another one. I was like, boom, millionaire in the making. However, our 10-year-old was observing my behavior of doing that, and she was very interested in why I kept saying that. So she's tech savvy. I showed her around how I'm doing it, how to copy paste, and then I had her show me she could do it. And I was like, great, awesome. I got to go take a shower and get ready for work because I had a serving shift that afternoon. And as I'm in the shower, she comes by and goes, hey, I got another one activated. Hey, got one activated. And she activated the second half of my 20 within 15 minutes on Facebook. And so that's when I really kind of ticked that I was like, if my 10-year-olds can do this, anybody can do this. And so
even me, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Yeah, so that was how I got my first 20, and then I went to work, and a bunch of people at BJ's ended up activating codes, and then we started kind of Facebooking like little events and things like that, like festivals and things we could do, and I had this grand idea that I would create group codes and 2 separate group codes. So when we do like business expos or women expos or anything like that, I actually create a group code of 25. And then I put a 7-day expiration. I usually do 3 days, but for these exhibitors, I do a 7-day expiration. and I had a group code of 25 just for the people at the exhibit, and it's just for my exhibitors. Then I create a separate group code of about 25 to 50, just depending on which one I want, and then for all the people walking through. And that way I kind of know where my leads are coming from, whether it's from the exhibitors or from the people walking through my event. And so while I'm watching the booth, Sean will go around our events, introducing himself, asking them, and it takes him about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but he spends quality time getting to know people, and he gives out all the codes to the exhibitors. And they usually, we had 15 activated in one day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Let me
that we did, yeah.
Okay, Sean, I want to hear from you here shortly, but I want to address this real quick. So what Ashley was just talking about is the codes are simply, they're called boomerangs, but they're basically just a fancy word for code. That's what we give to people for free to activate customers, and they're showing that the average customer on all the travel and the rentals and all the things that we offer will probably save approximately $600 a year. And we make, for just helping somebody become a customer for free, 50% on the savings. So if that's the case, then each customer is potentially worth $300 to somebody for just helping somebody do that. So Sean, because I wanted to make sure, because I know a lot of different new people watch these videos, explain some of the lingo we use, the codes and the booms and stuff like that. But it's really a simple process. So Sean, go ahead with what you were about to say.
Yeah, so like Ashley said, we got introduced from a family friend, and we did our due diligence, probably 3 weeks of looking into the business. And I was fired up that I could give away something totally free. I'm not selling anything. I'm not hassling anybody. Hey, if you enjoy traveling and you like to save money, I can help you with that. And it doesn't cost you anything. I can just give it away. It's a free gift from me to you. Enjoy it, love it. It's super simple. They can just go online and just type in the code, the boomerang. And so I give boomerangs out all the time. Ashley is more on the tech savvy side, and so she Facebooks, does all that. I'm more face-to-face with people. So if anyone's like, well, how do I give boomerangs away, or who do I give them to? I give them to everybody. I went to my mom's house, for example, the other day, and she was looking to do like a bathroom remodel, and the guy is there showing her examples of tile and stuff like that. I give that guy a boomerang. They're at their neighbor's house. I've never met them before. I go over there. They happen to be talking about a trip they came back from and things like that. And so it just comes up naturally for me when I'm talking to people, hey, it sounds like you like to travel, and you could save money too. I have this gift for you. I can just give it to you. And so I'm more just throughout my day when I see people and talk to people, I give out boomerangs left and right. And so, and sometimes they get activated, sometimes they don't. But I mean, like Ashley said, we have 90. We're going to be breaking 100 here before too long.
You said you have 94, I think, when we were talking before, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm using a calculator. I got my calculator up here.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I do math on this all the time too.
So based on the averages, if the $300 per profit per customer annually comes out, that's what you guys have already set up by giving away free codes. Potentially, obviously. It's obviously a hypothetical. You can't force people to go spend money and travel. But now, okay, so that's awesome. You guys have gotten that. And you've also gotten a few people that have joined as TSAs as well. Our reps is what we're called TSAs, Travel Savings Ambassadors. I'm curious as to what you showed those people to get them to want to do what you were doing. Just out of are you using, because I'm trying to figure out what's different systems people use.
Yeah, so the first person that we had sign up was a neighbor of ours, and I was talking to him just about what we're doing, and I said, hey, would you be interested in looking at something? And he said, absolutely. He drives for Lyft and Uber, and he's always looking for a side hustle. And I said, can I send you an iDecide? Absolutely amazing tool that does all the work for me. I can just send them over the video. They take 10 minutes to look it over, and they like it. They want more information. We go from there. And so that's exactly how it was. Signing up Chris right away was just sending him an iDecide presentation.
Perfect. And the iDecide, in case anybody doesn't know what that is when you become a TSA, the company provides different tools for us to use, and one of which is an interactive presentation. You can literally text somebody on your phone, and it will just ask questions, and they just push buttons, and it walks them through the process so that they're watching the presentation based on their answers, which is pretty amazing. I mean, that's a really high level tech service. It's not something cheap to use, correct? Man,
Absolutely.
and you get a notification when they watch it or when they start watching it and when they're done with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can follow. Okay, now next thing, kind of winding it down because I like to keep these, somewhere around 10 or so minutes. You guys happened to make it to just a couple weeks ago, the beginning of September. We had our official launch in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now you guys were excited about iBoomerang before you got there. You'd already been doing the work, getting people in, getting customers, and so on. What happened to your belief level, and where do you think you see yourselves? But if you were talking to somebody that was taking a look at this, where would you tell them that or what kind of action should they take? I mean, how big is this thing about to get if they're paying attention?
Oh, this thing's gonna blow up and skyrocket. We had full faith in this company from day one when we got started, but Vegas just reiterated our belief and really skyrocketed what we're doing in the business, and that we have full faith in what's happening for the business and what's going to happen for our family. And like you were talking about earlier, on the averages of 300, and then now the new things rolling out and the other services. I didn't do any more work. I already have this group of people as my customers that are going to be worth more than $300 per year because of the services to come. More like $400 or $500. So and I didn't do any extra work to gather the customers, but we're going to add more value to what outside of travel. So I was excited about what we heard in Vegas and what's to come, and I know that we're still growing and going to add more products and services. But Vegas was absolutely just production, the environment, the people.
You should tell them what you said when we went to AT&T.
What do you mean?
When you're like fired up and you're like, oh, it's gonna be a household name. You're gonna know. Like,
oh yeah,
he's like. We walked in to go to AT&T to get a phone service, and the lady goes, "Are you using for business or for home?" And Sean's like, "Business." And then he's like, "And it's gonna be a household name." And she's like, "Well, what is it?" And he just was so confident that two people actually from the background came over and asked us for a code.
Yeah.
And we gave them right on the spot. And then one of them said, "Hey, I just came into a lot of money. I just came into a huge inheritance." He's like, "We might be doing business together in the future."
Yeah.
And so we sent him and I aside, and we have it's the confidence that you have in it too. And that's what that event, I was already confident about the whole thing. But I went back to my hotel when we were in Vegas, and I had to cry for about 25 minutes because all the things that were being presented was so much, and Holton only gave us a glimpse. And
happy tears, guys. Happy, excited for life tears.
Yeah,
right.
I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, it was very exciting, and it's just, I put that excitement out to people that I'm talking to. And by the time I'm even halfway done, people usually are like, wow, like you're going to make a lot of money. So this is the time to do it. I'm like, this is the time to do it because it's so new.
I think, I mean, obviously I really appreciate you guys being on here. I'm finally happy that we got to pin this down because I think you guys are the perfect, you're almost like the perfect example of what this type of business is designed or created for. Is the person that's got a full-time gig, they're already doing something, that's supplying, meeting their needs for their family, but you're also building an asset on the side, a side hustle, as we kind of jokingly call it, that's going to help, to alleviate other things, potentially grow to the point that you can even make other choices, whether you want to stay where you're at or let that go altogether. I mean, that's what's so cool about this thing. And obviously, you got your kids. And I mean, to have your 10-year-old activating boomerangs for you in codes, that's pretty cool. Because a lot of people, they want to know how much time or what it takes to do that. So it's pretty cool. Well, you guys have anything else in closing? I memean, we've been on here just about as long as I usually take. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, just the fact that people see what we're doing. And my advice to anybody that joins is to just be consistent. Even if you're just doing a little tiny bit, even if you get one person activated and that's it, that's all you did all day or for the week, just keep doing it because people are watching you. Even if you don't think they are, or you only get 2 likes that day on your post or that week, people see your stuff coming through their feeds and they see what you're doing. And eventually someone's going to go, oh, I saw what you're doing. Can you explain it to me? When you run into them at the grocery store, run into them somewhere, anywhere, just to keep going forward because people are always watching you, even if you think they're not.
Absolutely. That is a great point. Well, thank you guys for being on here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having us.
No problem. I'm going to go solo real quick, say goodbye to everybody. So
bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again for taking a look at this. Appreciate you guys watching all these videos. If you got questions, get back with the person that, maybe introduced you to take a look at this. And if you got questions, like we said, we can answer them for you. But again, if you'll do today what others won't, you can live tomorrow like others can. My name is Mike, and I'm out. Thanks.